welcome to xNarrator Persona Series. Today, we go deep into the mind of Marc Andreessen, co-founder of Netscape, general partner at Andreessen Horowitz, and one of the most influential voices in technology. On X, he is at pmarca, and this past week, he has been on an absolute tear. From March 17th through March 21st, 2026, Marc posted nearly 50 times, covering everything from a multi-day war on introspection to the White House AI framework to the future of agentic commerce. We have selected 38 of his most substantive posts, organized into 5 chapters. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Introspection Wars. This was the dominant theme of Marc's week. What started as a single provocative take spiraled into a multi-day debate involving Steve Jobs' quotes, Marcus Aurelius citations, ratio challenges, and an ever-growing stack of replies. It all began on Tuesday, March 17th. Marc opened with a formula. He wrote,
Introspection equals neuroticism times narcissism times thumb-sucking.
This immediately blew up. Marc then dared his critics directly, quoting his own post and writing,
Ratio, me, navel-gazers.
As the replies poured in, Marc shared screenshots of the responses he was getting, commenting,
I'm now getting a ton of positive messages from the anti-introspection crowd. Thank you all.
He then shared more screenshots, writing simply,
Representative sample.
And then added,
And memes.
He backed up his argument with Marcus Aurelius, posting a quote from Meditations, Book 10, Section 16.
Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, 1016, to stop talking about what the good man is like, and just be one.
Marc then made the analogy explicit, drawing a parallel to another famous contrarian thinker.
Peter Thiel to Antichrist as Marc Andreessen to introspection.
He doubled down, referencing another ally in his anti-introspection crusade.
Look, I'm just saying, if I, Marcus Aurelius, and Elisha D. Long agree on something, you can assume it's correct.
He also shared a link with the caption,
Words to live by.
When user at MetaPreston shared a clip of Steve Jobs refusing to be introspective in a 2006 interview, where Jobs said, quote, I don't think that way, end quote, Marc simply replied,
Well.
Preston then shared another Jobs clip, this one about getting fired from Apple, where Jobs said he went for long walks in the woods and didn't talk to many people. Marc's response was cutting.
And then he squints, checks notes, went back to work, and built Next in Pixar.
When at Jawan_ shared a clip of Peter Thiel on how the psychedelics revolution changed introspection, where Thiel said, quote, we stopped going to outer space because we started going to inner space, end quote, Marc posted a wide eyes emoji. Perry Metzger shared a disturbing quote from Eliezer Yudkowsky about how many people he would sacrifice for his beliefs, stating that there should be enough survivors on Earth to form a viable reproductive population. Marc responded with a single, shocked emoji. Riley Ramuto then posted a lengthy rebuttal to Marc's entire anti-introspection thesis, saying, and I quote,
I'm going to offer a rebuttal to absolutely everything pmarca has said about introspection here. And Marc, I say this respectfully, with peace and love. I would still love your support one day. But this has to be said.
Marc responded simply by posting an image. The next day, Wednesday, he was still at it. He checked the ratio on his original post and wrote,
Weak ratio. Sad. The navel-gazers must be distracted.
Then he briefly pivoted to self-deprecation with,
A lot of you need to do more introspection, obviously.
By Saturday, March 21st, he posted what he called his big conclusion from the week.
My big conclusion from this week. Introspection causes emotional disorders.
And that was the final word. 5 days, dozens of replies, one thesis, no retreat. Chapter 2. AI Policy and the Safety Racket. While Marc was waging war on introspection, he was simultaneously tracking a major developing story about AI safety lobbying in the White House AI policy framework. Jordan Schachtel at The Dossier published an investigation titled Built to Deceive: How the Effective Altruist Machine Infiltrated the Conservative Right on AI. Marc shared it with a single word.
Uh-oh.
The next day, Schachtel followed up with another piece, The AI Safety Racket: How a leftist mega-donor network launders its agenda through GOP-led states. Marc shared this one too, writing,
Juan Sarning.
When NBC News covered Schachtel's reporting but didn't give him space to comment, Schachtel called out the coverage. Marc amplified it.
Very concerning.
David Sachs weighed in on the broader pattern, writing about the effective altruist movement's structural problem.
The effective altruist movement has a structural problem when it comes to conservative America. Its donor class is all Bay Area progressives. Its policy agenda, which calls for sweeping AI regulation and content governance, reads to most conservatives as exactly what it is.
Marc's response to Sachs was sharp.
Yikes.
Then came the big announcement. David Sachs, serving as White House AI and crypto czar, along with Sriram Krishnan, unveiled the national AI framework that President Trump had ordered via executive order in December. Sachs wrote that it was meant to replace the growing patchwork of 50 different state regulatory regimes. Marc's response was his most enthusiastic post of the week.
Thank you to our hardworking and thoughtful AI White House leaders David Sachs, Sriram Krishnan, and colleagues. This framework is a big step forward, sensible, protects people in the right ways, and encourages builders to build. Long America.
He also retweeted Colin McCune's thanks to the White House team for pushing the national AI framework forward. Chapter 3. AI and Tech Optimism. Beyond policy, Marc spent the week celebrating the builders. His takes on technology range from the granular to the grand. When Chris B. pushed back against the OpenClaw skeptics, writing that it's like the early internet, raw, unrefined, and takes a little doing to get things to work, but when you figure it out, it's transformative, Marc elevated it to the highest possible praise.
OpenClaw and Pi together are in the top 10 of all-time software breakthroughs.
That's a massive claim from one of Silicon Valley's most respected voices. OpenClaw and Pi in the top 10 of all software ever created. When Amjad Masad announced Replit Agent 4, calling it the first AI built for creative collaboration between humans and agents, Marc was effusive.
This is so incredibly great. Software superpowers for everyone.
Packy McCormick posted about the progress in world models, noting that multiple labs have raised more than $1 billion, and that world models were the star of GTC. Marc gave it his signature endorsement.
Self-recommending.
Theo Jaffe posted a chart with the caption, "Negative sentiment toward AI is a luxury belief." Marc agreed.
Many such cases.
Nabeel Qureshi described the AI safety to accelerationist pipeline. Be worried about AI safety. Hyperfocus on the bottlenecks for intelligence explosion. Learn more about this than everyone else. Realize you can make money from this knowledge, and congratulations, you're an accelerationist now. Marc endorsed this with the same phrase.
Many such cases.
He also dropped a memorable one-liner about the pace of AI progress.
A lot of people are getting one-shotted by the concept of one-shotting.
When Saya Nayak posted that at this rate, everyone is going to have their own app and 0 users, Marc reframed it.
Unironically, the future.
Sam Ranks posted about open agentic commerce, and Marc responded with what appears to be an HTTP status code reference.
402.
He posted an image with the caption, "Found a post." AGI job opening, suggesting that even after artificial general intelligence arrives, there will still be work to do.
Found a post AGI job opening.
And when Anjni Midha posted about energy infrastructure for AI, Marc gave it his trademark call to action.
It's time to build the independent AI grid.
Chapter 4. Culture, Philosophy, and the Retard-Maxing Lifestyle. Woven between the AI policy posts and the Introspection Wars, Marc shared his broader cultural commentary. And the vibes were, shall we say, unrestrained. On Tuesday, he declared his current status.
Current status. Retard maxing.
By Thursday, he updated the count.
Status. Day 19,977 of retard maxing. Things going really well.
Peter Diamandis posted about the power of storytelling to shape the future, calling for someone to write an epic screenplay that is more Star Trek than Terminator. Marc amplified it with conviction.
It's time to tell the story of the future.
When a 16Z posted a clip about why they are bullish on Zoomers, featuring the quote, "There's something about this culture of young people coming up where they're not afraid of hard work. They're not afraid to pop a Zine and work at the factory all day." Marc affirmed it simply.
Amen.
He shared a link to what he called his mantra.
My mantra.
Someone joked that Marc's investment thesis looked like a shitpost. He leaned into it.
You might be surprised how effective it is.
He also shared a photo about a 16Z diversity practices with heavy sarcasm.
This is unfortunate, as we had our ULGBT founder test spun up and ready to go.
And when CBS News investigated a building in LA housing a salon, a modeling agency, and 89 hospices, calling it ground zero for fraud, Marc flagged it.
Concerning.
Chapter 5. The Big Picture. Stepping back from the individual posts, a clear portrait emerges of Marc Andreessen's worldview in March 2026. First, he is fully committed to the accelerationist position on AI. Not just building it, but fighting the forces he sees trying to slow it down. The effective altruism movement, state-level AI regulation, and what he views as disguised progressivism in conservative clothing. Second, he genuinely believes we are living through a software revolution unlike anything before. OpenClaw in the top 10 software breakthroughs of all time, Replit giving everyone software superpowers. A future where every person has their own app. He is not hedging. Third, the introspection crusade is not a throwaway bit. He spent 5 days on it, cited Marcus Aurelius, invoked Steve Jobs, challenged his critics to ratio him, and concluded the week with a definitive statement. For Marc, action is the antidote to navel-gazing. Build the thing. Ship the code. Tell the story of the future. Don't sit around thinking about it. And fourth, the retard-maxing persona. Day 19,977 and counting. Marc Andreessen, at 54 years old, co-founder of the browser, board member at Meta, running a $16 billion venture fund, posting like a 23-year-old shitposter on Main. And winning. That was Marc Andreessen at pmarca on X, March 17th through 21st, 2026. 38 posts, 5 themes, 0 introspection. This has been xNarrator Persona Series. Subscribe for more deep dives into the minds shaping technology, culture, and the future.